Hola y buenos días. Me llamo Stephen French. My name is Stephen French, and in this video I'm going to help you with your Spanish GCSE translation from English to Spanish. And the particular one I'm going to help you with is the Future Aspirations Study and Work theme. So, without any further ado, let's get going. I've got 10 sentences for you, and I think you're going to find these useful and helpful in your Spanish revision or wherever you are in your Spanish GCSE journey. Let's get going. Number 1. My father is a nurse and he works in the hospital. My suggested translation: Mi padre es enfermero y trabaja en el hospital. Couple of things to watch. In Spanish, we say es enfermero, but of course in English we've got the A in there. So, mi padre es enfermero translates, my father is a nurse and he works in the hospital. Y trabaja, from our verb trabajar, a regular AR verb, en el hospital, in the hospital. Now, of course, in the exam, people can work in all sorts of places, and that's where the vocab's important, and that's where you have to take all sorts of bits of vocab on board. Number 2. I would not like to be a shop assistant because I work in the open air. My suggested translation is: No me gustaría ser dependiente o ser dependienta porque me gusta trabajar al aire libre. First up, no me gustaría. Translation: I would like. It's the conditional tense of gustar. So I would not like no me gustaría. Of course, I would like is me gustaría. Ser dependiente. Now, again, in English, we say to be a shop assistant, but in Spanish, we simply say ser dependiente or ser dependienta, depending on whether it's masculine or feminine. And both would work here in the translation. Word you must know: porque, because. Other possibilities: ya que, puesto que, dado que. So in other words, there are lots of different alternatives for because. And now we're moving on. I like, me gusta. Sure, you know this expression. Me gusta, absolutely imperative that you know this one. Me gusta trabajar al aire libre. Trabajar, to work, al aire libre, in the open air. All good expressions to know, and it's the sort of thing that will come up in the exam in some shape or form. Number 3. She's very kind and she's going to be a teacher. My suggested translation: Ella es muy simpática y va a ser profesora. This particular sentence is testing the immediate future, or what's going to happen in the future. So we've got a present tense, es, and a future tense, or an immediate future tense, va a ser. The other thing to notice is es can mean he is or she is, and for that reason I've put ella in brackets. And perhaps to be really perfect, you would put ella es. Now, the tricky thing for us English people is simpática. Simpático, simpática is an adjective. It describes she. And when something is in the feminine, an adjective ending in O, as in simpático, will change to simpática. Super important. And one of the things, whenever you're writing or you're preparing your speeches or when you're actually speaking, is if you can get that adjectival agreement, by which I mean making sure that you've got the A on the end in simpática. Teachers like that, and I tell you what, the examiners like it as well. And then we've got va a ser. Now, right on the end here, we've got profesora, and of course, she's going to be a female teacher, and that's why we've got that A on the end. Just to run through it once again. Ella es muy simpática y va a ser profesora. And notice once again, the A in English has been dropped here. Number 4. making quite good progress, moving along nicely. In the future, I would like to live in Spain and work there. En el futuro, me gustaría vivir en España y trabajar allí. Okay? In the future. Stock phrase, you must know it, en el futuro. And of course, in the past is, I've gone quite deliberately. So what is in the past? That's it, people of the internet. It's en el pasado. Absolutely not too far from English, not too difficult. I think you'll agree. So, en el futuro, me gustaría, I would like, know that phrase. We've had it already. Lock it away. Use it in your writing consistently, in your speaking. Easy phrase to know. Scores nicely. Me gustaría vivir, to live, en España, in Spain, y trabajar, to work. And there's the word there, allí. Just run through it again quickly. En el futuro, me gustaría vivir en España y trabajar allí. Number 5. Coming up to about halfway through, moving through nicely, and let's keep the pace going. So, my father went to university in London and studied science. My suggested translation. Mi padre fue a la universidad en Londres y estudió las ciencias. My father, we've had it before somewhere else, I'm sure you know it. Now, we're moving into the past tense here. This is the preterite tense. Fue is from the verb ir, to go. It's irregular. It doesn't follow a pattern. And perhaps if you struggle sometimes to remember bits and pieces of the verbs, this one's a key one. And I'd like you to repeat the first 3 bits of it. In the preterite tense, it goes fui, fuiste, fue. I'll repeat that again. Fui, fuiste, fue. I went, you went, he or she went. And that's the fue here. Mi padre fue, the word to university, stock phrase, a la universidad. Notice we've popped in la there. En Londres, notice that the word London changes into Spanish, en Londres. There we've got the word and, y, estudió. Now notice here, we've got the O with the accent on it. Now what I'd like you to do is to repeat after me, estudió. Good. I heard that reverberating around the whole world. Estudió. Fantastic. Of course, if it didn't have the accent on it here, it would mean, yes, I like that from the person in the back row. Estudio means I study. Estudió means he or she studied, or you studied in circumstances. And then we've got las ciencias. Running through it again nice and quickly. Mi padre fue a la universidad en Londres y estudió las ciencias. Number 6. Rafa Nadal is a famous tennis player and likes his work. Suggested translation. Rafa Nadal es tenista famoso y le gusta su trabajo. Rafa Nadal es, there's the word is in Spanish. We've missed out, the word a should be in there. Is a famous tennis player. Es tenista famoso, because it's not there in Spanish. There's the word and. He likes, in this case it's not me gusta or te gusta, it's le gusta. That means he likes. Su trabajo, su is the word for his, trabajo, his work. Just to run it through again, nice and quickly. Rafa Nadal es tenista famoso y le gusta su trabajo. Now we're on number 7. My friend Anne is going to take a gap year and travel in Latin America. Wow, what a great idea. Travelling in Latin America? I think you'd agree, a good idea. Mi amiga Ana va a tomar un año sabático y viajar en América Latina. Firstly, my friend Ana. I've got the word a, because mi amiga, because Ana is feminine, so mi amiga Ana. The immediate future, va a, is going to. So I am going to, of course, is voy a, but here we've got va a, is going, tomar un año sabático, to take a gap year. So this va a is always followed by what we call an infinitive. It's going to take a gap year, the word for and, viajar en América Latina. Again, this is a verb in the infinitive, and that is following on from va a. So va a viajar en América Latina. She is going to travel in Latin America. Okay, number 8. You can earn more money as a professional footballer than as a nurse. Sorry, I've missed out the word as in here. Now let's go through it. So it says, puedes ganar más dinero como futbolista profesional que ser enfermero. Puedes, you can, ganar, earn. Now because ganar is following puedes, you have to have it in the infinitive. Here we've got the word for more money, más dinero. So puedes ganar más dinero como futbolista profesional. There's the word for footballer, como futbolista profesional. And my adjective is going after the noun. So in English it goes before, but in Spanish most of them go afterwards. Que ser enfermero, okay, than a nurse. Ser enfermero, again, than be a nurse, but in Spanish we've got ser enfermero or enfermera if it's nurse in the feminine. So just to wrap that up again, puedes ganar más dinero como futbolista profesional que ser enfermero. Okay, we've got 2 left. Well done for staying with me so far. The more you listen to this, and perhaps even semi-listening to it sometimes, having it in the background and doing other things, all of these will continually seep into your conscience, slowly enter into your conscience, and it will pay off in the exam. In the shop where I work, the customers are usually nice. So here we go. En la tienda, in the shop where I work, donde trabajo, keyword donde, trabajo meaning I work. Here's the word for customers. Los clientes son, so we want the word are, son, normalmente, usually, normalmente. Now, this is the key point that people sometimes make mistakes on. Simpático is an adjective and it's describing the customers. The customers are in the plural, and in this case, masculine plural. So, los clientes, so we need an OS on the end here. Los clientes son normalmente simpáticos. If you can do that in the exam, really good. And last but not least, number 10, she's going to be a maths teacher because she loves maths. So, va a, we've come across this earlier on, va a ser profesora de matemáticas porque le gustan las matemáticas. She is going to be, va a ser, profesora de matemáticas. Now, again, we've pointed this out. There's the A, but no A here in Spanish. Va a ser profesora de matemáticas porque le gustan, because le gustan. Now, because it's las matemáticas, that is plural. We need this we need it to be gustan and not gusta. Okay, well done indeed, everybody who stayed through to the end. I hope you found this useful. If you have found it useful, why not consider subscribing to the channel? Because then you'll be the first to hear of all the new videos that are coming out, and I'm planning a lot more coming up in the not too distant future. Hasta luego, amigos míos.